Have you ever noticed the crescent moon shape on the palm of your hand? This seemingly ordinary mark might hold a deep message about your destiny and spiritual growth. In this video, we will explore the spiritual meaning behind this mysterious symbol. According to Buddhist teachings, the crescent moon on your palm is not just a physical feature, but a powerful sign of your spiritual potential. This discovery can bring you clarity, inner peace, and a new perspective on your life's path. If you've ever wondered about the subtle signs your body gives you, or questioned the deeper meaning of your spiritual journey, this video is for you. Challenge for you. Think about the last moments in your life when you felt that there was something more than what you see. Maybe the crescent moon sign in your palm gives you a clue. Comments and conversion. Let us know in the comments if you have noticed this sign on your hand, or if you have faced moments when your intuition was stronger than reason. We are here to explore this road together. Additional call to action. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos about spiritual signs and how they influence our lives. Leave a comment with, "I'm open to spiritual wisdom," and attract positive energies into your life. What is the sign of the crescent moon in the palm of the hand? The crescent moon palm sign is a physical characteristic that many people have, but few notice. This usually appears as a slightly visible curve at the base of the thumb, or near the Mount of Venus, the fleshy part of the palm. Although to many this sign seems to be only a minor detail, it has a deep meaning in spiritual traditions, especially in Buddhism. In Buddhism, the human body is considered a channel for spiritual energy, and signs on the body can have a direct connection to a person's karma, destiny, or spiritual mission. Thus, the crescent moon is not just an anatomical detail, but a symbol that can give us clues about our spiritual path. Buddhism teaches us that the signs on the body, including the crescent moon in the palm, are messages sent by the universe to guide us on the path to self-knowledge and enlightenment. By recognizing this sign, a person can begin to ask questions about their own life and the role this symbol plays in their existence. Before we go any further, it is important to observe the sign of the crescent moon carefully. It can vary in size, color, and clarity, and these variations can influence its spiritual interpretation. Although the sign may be difficult to notice, once identified, it can open a path to a better understanding of ourselves and our relationship with the energies of the universe. This crescent moon can be perceived as a subtle sign that we are connected to something much deeper than the material world. The spiritual symbolism of the crescent moon according to Buddhism. In Buddhist tradition, the crescent moon in the palm is considered a powerful symbol of spiritual potential. While many other religions and philosophies attribute various meanings to our hands, Buddhism sees this sign as a clear indication that a person has a special sensitivity to spiritual energies. The crescent moon, as a symbol, represents the transition from ignorance to wisdom, suggesting that the wearer has a chance to evolve. The crescent moon is often associated with the phases of the moon, each phase representing a stage of spiritual life. In this case, the crescent moon reflects a stage of inner growth, where the individual is ready to discover deeper truths about themselves and the world. This symbolism is deeply rooted in the idea of balance between the material and spiritual worlds. Therefore, people who have this crescent on their palm are often seen as having greater spiritual potential. They are encouraged to explore their intuitive abilities and seek a deeper connection with their inner self. This symbol reminds them that beyond the daily challenges, there is an important spiritual journey to follow. Hands as a reflection of the soul in the Buddhist tradition. In Buddhism, the hands are seen as an extension of the soul, and each line, mark, or marking on them can reveal essential aspects about a person's life. It is believed that the palm of our hand reflects the experiences accumulated in past and current lives, and the signs on it are not accidental. The sign of the crescent moon plays an essential role in this interpretation. If in other cultures the hands are used more to read destiny in the traditional sense, Buddhism urges us to look at the hands as a mirror of our soul. Through the lifeline, headline, heartline, and other lines, Buddhism suggests that we can find clues about the karmic lessons we have to learn. The crescent moon, located in the palm of the hand, is seen as a symbol of the soul's sensitivity to the surrounding energies. In the Buddhist tradition, this sensitivity is not just a physical trait, but a manifestation of a person's spiritual evolution. The hands, being tied to karma, can indicate where one is on their spiritual path, and the crescent moon emphasizes the need for introspection and meditation. Crescent moon, a sign of spiritual growth. The crescent moon is a universal symbol of change and transformation. In Buddhism, this symbol is related to the concept of awakening or enlightenment, the process by which a person becomes aware of the true nature of reality. A person with a crescent moon in their palm is seen as being in the middle of a spiritual journey where inner growth is not only possible but necessary. Buddhism teaches us that every mark on our body can be a window to our inner self. The crescent moon symbolizes the ability to overcome spiritual obstacles and rise to a new level of consciousness. It can indicate a time in the person's life when change is imminent, whether it is a new understanding of the world or a release from suffering. As one progresses on the spiritual path, the crescent moon can be a constant reminder that every step taken must be in harmony with inner truth. This is an invitation to turn our attention to meditation and reflection to cultivate the peace and wisdom needed in our evolution. 5. The law of karma and the crescent sign. Buddhism relies heavily on the concept of karma, the law of cause and effect. Every action has a consequence, either immediate or long-term, and this cycle is reflected in all aspects of life, including the marks on our bodies. The crescent moon in the palm can be interpreted as a sign of past and present karma, an indication that actions in past lives, or even in this life, have helped shape present destiny. This crescent can suggest that the wearer has a strong karmic connection to past actions, which influences current challenges and opportunities. For example, a well-defined crescent could indicate that the person has accumulated positive karma, which brings them favorable experiences in the present. Conversely, a weaker or unclear crescent could signal the existence of karmic lessons that the person needs to learn. Understanding the meaning of the crescent moon in the context of karma can help the individual approach life's challenges with more awareness and responsibility. This is an opportunity to right the wrongs of the past and continue to accumulate positive karma through good deeds and compassion. The role of the crescent moon in spiritual awakening. In Buddhism, the crescent moon is a powerful symbol of spiritual awakening. This awakening, also known as enlightenment, is the process by which a person becomes aware of the true nature of reality, understanding suffering, its causes, and the path to liberation. The crescent moon in the palm of the hand can be seen as an indication that the wearer is ready for this deep spiritual journey. The sign of the crescent moon may suggest that the individual is at a stage in his life where introspection and inner growth are essential. This awakening does not happen suddenly, but is a gradual process. The crescent moon serves as a constant reminder that this process is ongoing, and every action, thought, or intention can bring us closer to inner wisdom and peace. The crescent moon can also reflect the stage of a spiritual awakening. It may suggest that the person has already begun to ask important questions about the meaning of life, karma, and the purpose of their existence. In Buddhism, signs on the body, including this crescent moon, are seen as guides that help keep us on the right spiritual path, encouraging us to pay attention to every detail of our lives. As one progresses on the path of awakening, the crescent moon becomes a symbol of unexplored potential. It reminds us that no matter what challenges we face, there is always room for growth and transformation. Seeing and understanding this sign is the first step to a more conscious and meaningful life. The potential of the crescent moon for spiritual protection. In many spiritual traditions, including Buddhism, it is believed that certain marks on the body, such as the crescent moon in the palm, can serve as symbols of spiritual protection. They can reflect the presence of positive energies, or even some protective spirit beings who watches over the person, guiding his steps and protecting him from niga. The crescent moon can function as a natural talisman, symbolizing that the person is protected by the forces of the universe. This spiritual protection can come in many forms, either by avoiding dangerous situations or overcoming challenges with unusual inner strength. People with this sign can feel a certain trust and safety in difficult moments, knowing that they are accompanied by a protective energy. This protection does not mean that the person will be completely safe from difficulties, but that he will have the ability to face them with more strength and clarity. In Buddhism, spiritual protection is believed to come from cultivating inner virtues such as compassion, wisdom, and patience. The crescent moon can be seen as a sign that the person has these qualities or is in the process of developing them. As one continues on their spiritual path, the crescent moon can become a symbol that reinforces trust in the benevolent forces of the universe. Recognizing this protective potential can provide peace and comfort in times of uncertainty, strengthening the individual's connection to the spiritual plane. The connection between the crescent moon and karmic purification Buddhism teaches that karma, the energy accumulated through our actions, influences our life and destiny. Sometimes negative karma from past lives or wrong actions can block spiritual progress. In this context, the crescent moon sign in the palm can be seen as a signal that the person is ready to purify his karma and release the energies that limit his evolution. Karmic purification involves reflecting on past actions, taking responsibility, and committing to living in harmony with Buddhist principles. The crescent moon can be a subtle reminder that this cleansing process is necessary to advance on the spiritual path. Every action conscious of compassion, love, and kindness helps purify karma and create a brighter future. Also, karmic purification does not only refer to actions in this life, but also to accumulated karma from previous lives. In this sense, the crescent moon is a symbol of the opportunity to right the wrongs of the past and create a new positive karmic cycle. This cleaning can take place through meditation, prayer, or spiritual practices, which helps to eliminate negative energies accumulated over time. For those who carry this sign, the crescent moon is a call to start or continue the process of spiritual healing. This is a way to live more consciously, freeing us from karmic baggage and opening us to a purer and more balanced spiritual life. Significance of the crescent on the dominant hand versus non-dominant. The interpretation of the crescent moon may vary depending on where it appears on our hands. In Buddhism, each hand has a distinct meaning. The dominant hand is related to our actions and experiences in our present life, whereas the non-dominant hand, it may reflect deeper aspects of karma, related to past lives or our latent spiritual traits. If the crescent appears on the dominant hand, this may suggest that the person is experiencing important karmic lessons in their current life. The sign can signal challenges or opportunities that require immediate attention, encouraging the individual to be aware of their decisions and actions. In this case, the crescent moon functions as a guide to better navigate current difficulties and align actions with spiritual principles. On the other hand, if the crescent appears on the non-dominant hand, this may reflect latent spiritual potential or karmic baggage from past lives. The person may have a strong spiritual sensitivity, but which, in this case, the crescent moon may suggest that it is time to begin to explore and deepen these traits through meditation or introspective practices. Also, the size and clarity of the crescent on each hand can influence the interpretation. A clearer and more defined crescent on the dominant hand can signal a moment of active spiritual growth, while a crescent moon on the non-dominant hand may suggest that the person has a spiritual potential that needs to be developed. How does the size and clarity of the crescent affect its interpretation? The size, colour, and clarity of the crescent in the palm are essential details that add depth to the interpretation of this sign. In the Buddhist tradition, each variation of the sign can have a distinct meaning, providing clues as to how strong one's spiritual potential is, or how great the karmic challenges a person may face. The large, clear crescent. It can be a sign that the person has a strong spiritual connection and a high ability to connect with universal energies. This suggests a period of progress, spiritual active, in which the individual is ready to explore his potential and overcome inner obstacles. In contrast, a smaller or less defined crescent, it can indicate that this spiritual energy is present but still latent, requiring more introspection and development. The color of the crescent can add another layer of meaning. A darker crescent may reflect greater karmic challenges or obstacles to be overcome, while a brighter crescent, it might suggest a purer and easier spiritual connection. The clarity of the crescent is also essential. A well-defined crescent shows that the person is in touch with their spiritual path, while a more diffuse crescent can signal confusion or a need for more clarity in life. These details provide a personalized spiritual map, helping the individual to better understand where they are on their path and what steps they need to take to continue growing. The crescent moon as a symbol of destiny and spiritual mission. In Buddhism, each person has a spiritual mission or dharma, a unique purpose that contributes to one's own evolution and the collective good. The crescent moon in the palm can indicate that a person is meant to fulfill an important mission in this life, whether it is guiding others, healing, or exploring spiritual depths. This symbol is a reminder that each of us has a role to play in the universe, and the crescent moon can act as a guide that constantly reminds us of our higher purpose. For example, a well-defined crescent may suggest that the person is already on his way to fulfilling his destiny, being involved in spiritual activities or helping those around him. Conversely, a more diffuse crescent may indicate that the person has yet to discover or accept this mission. The crescent moon can also remind us that our destiny is not fixed and immovable, but is shaped by our choices. By recognizing this sign, the person can be inspired to reflect on their daily choices and ask themselves if they are in harmony with their true purpose. Each step taken on the spiritual path is an opportunity to align your personal life with your spiritual mission, thus contributing to a positive karmic cycle. The power of intuition associated with the crescent moon. The crescent moon in the palm of the hand is often associated with a spiritual sensitivity increased, and one of the manifestations of this sensitivity is intuition. In Buddhism, intuition is seen as a form of inner wisdom, a knowledge that goes beyond logical thinking and comes from a deep connection with the higher self and the universe. A person who wears the crescent moon on the palm of their hand may have natural access to this intuition, guided by the subtle signals of the body and mind. The intuition associated with the crescent can help the person navigate life's challenges with greater clarity. For example, he can instinctively sense when a situation or person is not suitable for his spiritual path, or on the contrary, when something will bring him evolution and fulfillment. This intuition can be compared to an inner compass that guides the person to the right decisions in accordance with karma and dharma in. Buddhism encourages the development of intuition through practices such as the meditation and mindfulness, self-awareness. These practices help quiet the mind, allowing intuition to manifest more clearly and become a constant guide in everyday life. A person with a crescent moon on their palm can greatly benefit from these practices, as they heighten sensitivity to the subtle energies around them and increase the ability to make wise spiritual choices. Finally, the power of intuition offered by the crescent moon is not only about making the right decisions, but also about deep understanding of self. It helps us see beyond the superficial appearances of life and connect to a deeper source of knowing. Through this connection, we can better understand our karmic challenges and our spiritual mission. Buddhist practices to potentiate the crescent energy. Buddhism offers numerous spiritual practices which can help activate and strengthen the spiritual energies associated with the crescent moon sign. Among the most effective practices are the meditation, mantra, and mindfulness, each with the role of deepening the person's connection with universal energies and better understanding the significance. Meditation. It is considered a central practice in Buddhism and is extremely beneficial for those who have the crescent moon on their palm. Through meditation, the person can quiet the mind, allowing intuition and inner wisdom to surface. A specific technique might involve focusing on the crescent moon sign during meditation, visualizing it as a source of spiritual light which emanates from the palm and spreads throughout the being. Another important practice is repeating mantras. In Buddhism, mantras are sacred phrases that have the power to purify the mind and attract positive energies. A mantra like Om Mani Padme Hum, which invokes compassion, can help open spiritual channels and activate the hidden potential of the crescent. Reciting this mantra while visualizing the crescent moon can amplify the positive effects of the sign and provide spiritual clarity. Mindfulness, or full awareness, is another essential practice for those who wish to better understand the meaning. It involves living in the present moment with conscious attention to thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations. Through this practice, one can become more aware of how the crescent moon sign manifests in their daily life and how it influences their relationships, decisions, and spiritual challenges. The crescent moon as a guide to enlightenment. The crescent moon in the palm can be seen as a symbol of the journey to enlightenment, a path that each individual must travel at his own pace. In Buddhism, lighting it is the ultimate state of freedom from suffering, of attaining supreme wisdom, and of understanding the true nature of reality. The crescent moon is not only a physical sign, but also a constant reminder of this ultimate spiritual purpose. Enlightenment is not a sudden event, but a continuous process of spiritual evolution. The crescent moon symbolizes this gradual progression, where the person gradually detaches from suffering and the illusions of the material world, moving towards a state of inner peace and clarity. People who have the crescent moon on their palm can see this sign as a confirmation that they are on the right path, even when they are facing difficulties. This journey to enlightenment involves the development of essential qualities such as compassion, wisdom, and patience. In Buddhism, physical signs such as the crescent moon are considered tools that help us keep our focus on our ultimate goal. Each step taken on this path is a step closer to liberation, and the crescent moon can serve as a subtle guide, reminding us to stay connected to spiritual practices and to the inner truth. For those who recognize the significance of this sign, the crescent moon becomes one symbol of hope and transformation. It shows us that no matter where we start, enlightenment is always possible, as long as we sincerely dedicate ourselves to our spiritual path. How to integrate the meaning of the crescent moon into your daily life. The crescent moon in the palm of the hand is much more than just a physical sign. She represents a deep connection with universal energies and an invitation to introspection and spiritual growth. To fully integrate the meaning of this symbol into everyday life, it is important to be aware of spiritual lessons that it brings and how it can guide us to a more fulfilled existence. The first step in this integration is self-reflection. A person who discovers the crescent moon in his palm should ask himself questions about own spiritual journey. What does this sign tell me about my path? What aspects of my life need more attention? Reflecting on these questions can provide valuable insights into karma, spiritual mission, and next steps on the path to enlightenment. It is also important to integrate spiritual practices in the daily routine, whether it's meditating, chanting mantras, or simply living in the present through mindfulness. These habits can amplify the positive energy of the crescent moon sign and help create an inner balance. Practicing compassion towards self and others is also essential, as compassion is one of the fundamental virtues that help purify karma and advance on the spiritual path. Finally, the crescent can be seen as a memento constant of our spiritual potential. Each person has the ability to transform their life and achieve inner peace, and the crescent moon is an invitation to explore this potential with openness and courage. By living with self-awareness, integrating Buddhist lessons, and pursuing our spiritual purpose, we can use the meaning of this symbol to guide us to a deeper, more meaningful life, closer to enlightenment. Now that you have discovered the true meaning of the crescent moon in your palm, are you ready to explore your spiritual potential? The crescent moon sign is more than just a physical detail. It is a guide to introspection, karma, and enlightenment. Don't let this message go unnoticed. Begin to develop your spiritual practice through meditation, mindfulness, and gratitude to bring clarity and balance to your life. Challenge for you. Look at your palm carefully and reflect on the spiritual meaning of this sign. What lessons is your karma teaching you? Let us know in the comments how this discovery inspired you. If you enjoyed this exploration of crescent symbolism, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, comment "I am ready for spiritual evolution," and start this journey with us. Together, we will discover new signs and practices that can guide us to a life full of wisdom and inner peace.